Hey, Pawn family, what's up? It's Yigal, and this morning I received a phone call with somebody in the pawn industry who was worried about a statement that a government official made. And so I want to talk to you guys about this, and I'm going to read you the official remarks, and then I'm going to tell you guys why he's right in thinking this and what you can do to stop it, right? So the governor of Alabama, I think is the lieutenant governor, basically said that it's essential for the economy for jewelry stores to reopen soon. Jewelers are the only state industry with the knowledge and equipment to best value items of jewelry and scrap gold. Although pawn shops can purchase gold, they are not trained to give the customer the best value, and therefore the public suffers in negotiating this blind product. Once again, although pawn shops can purchase gold, they are not trained to give the customer the best value, and therefore the public suffers in negotiating the blind product. So, what does this mean? It basically means that the lieutenant governor has no idea how pawn shops work, doesn't know the testing, scrutiny, the licensing that goes behind it, the uses of the scales and the diamond testers and all those types of things. And the problem is that it's not his fault, right? In extreme ownership, we learned that when something like this happens, it's our fault. Why is that? That's because either the pawn shops in Alabama haven't reached out to that lieutenant governor, haven't given them tours of the store, haven't done everything possible to be able to let those government officials know that pawn shops are indeed trained to be able to buy gold at a great rate, or diamonds, or whatever it is that people need to sell. So now let's talk about this question. The question is, what do they do now? What does Alabama do now? What do the pawn shops in Alabama do right now that the lieutenant governor said pawn shops are idiots? They don't know how to test. They're not trained to buy gold. The truth and what you need to do right now, and I don't care what country you're in, state you're in, city you're in, right? And Lisa, Fran is all over that stuff for sure. But what I'm saying is, what happens is a lot of times they tell us to just write letters to these, government officials. What you need to do right now is you need to go Facebook Live and show people how you test gold. Show people all the equipment used when buying gold, pawning gold, buying diamonds. You see, in California, we had the weights and measure department that would have to come by, and every 6 months they would test our scales. And it cost us a ton of money, not a ton of money, it was like $180, right? It was like $30 per scale. And they would give us these stickers that would go on the scales. Now, pawnbrokers used to complain about this all the time. $180, I can't believe it, or $600, I can't believe it. It's crazy. I have 2 stores. This is insane. This is insanity. But Morris and I, we understood this. And we understood the PR and marketing behind it. So what do? We made a video showing that when you come to our pawn shop, Cash Go Pawn, we have state regulated scales. We don't use scales from Amazon. We use $1,000 scales that have stickers on them that's tested by the city every 6 months. So we gave a sense of security to all of the clients. And then we took that video and I shared it in my business network. I was the president of the business association. We shared it there. And then we could have shared it anywhere, because once it's on YouTube, you can share it to any government official, anybody who asks the question. See, in these times, what you should be doing as a pawnbroker is marketing the fact of how safe you are and how secure you are. I have a mastermind meeting in 30 minutes. And one of the things I'm going to talk about is this concept of how to do this. Because your clients at this moment, the people in your city, like, I can't imagine whoever listened to that speech by the lieutenant governor, who was going to have, their first option as the pawn shop, now is just like, oh, I'm not going to the pawn shop. If they don't know how to test my gold, I'm done, right? So Lisa says, we have that in Georgia too. They don't charge for it. Videoing that is a great idea. Yeah, Now listen, are there pawn shops who are scoundrels and thieves? Yep, just like there are lawyers and doctors and all, different types of occupations. But you have to show the customer. Take them step by step of how do you weigh the gold? How do you test the gold? What's this acid that you use, the diamond tester that you use? Do you have a moissanite tester? Do you have a CBD tester? If you have the Yehuda tester that costs you $6,000. When we did that video, we showed people, I think we cut to, the price of the scale that we would use. It's like $1,000 scale as opposed to a $99 scale off of Amazon. It gave people a sense of security. Ladies and gentlemen, we are pawnbrokers. And as pawnbrokers, we have to continuously remind people that we're not thieves, that we do things kosher, the ones who are pawn leaders, of course. But you have to consistently remind them. Why? Because there's so much information that people forget. Why do I go live twice a day? It's to remind you guys that I'm still here. I'm still fighting for you. That I'm learning every single day leadership, marketing, and strategy to pass that on to the mastermind and to the pawn family. You cannot sit at your counter and just do pawns. You cannot do that. Now is not the time just to sit there and get preoccupied and busy with just doing loans. Now is the time to reach out to your community, show them that you're a leader, and show them that they can have security with you, that they can trust you, that they can not have a problem with taking their stuff to you. But if you don't do it, if you just hide behind your walls, the next governor is going to come out and say, hey, pawn shops don't know how to test gold. And then the next, and then the next, and the next. And what's going to happen? You're going to have a ridiculous amount of competition coming up. You're going to have people saying that why shouldn't they close pawn shops? And all that business that you thought that you were going to get is going to go somewhere else. Now, I have nothing against jewelry stores. I love jewelry stores. Right? What I do have something against is you sitting there and not letting your people know in your community who you are, what you believe in, and the integrity that you have. It's your responsibility to lead your company to the next level and within your community. Now, for those of you who tell me, Yigal, I don't have time to listen to the podcast. Yigal, I don't have time to take a course. Yigal, I don't have time to be in the mastermind. The truth is that you have to make the time because you're making huge mistakes. Huge mistakes. You don't see them, but you're making them. I see them all the time in the pawn industry. So with that, I'm going to get ready for the mastermind. If you guys have a question, let me know. Danny, thanks for watching. Lisa, Dwight, good morning, brother. But again, don't hold off in grabbing a cell phone. You don't need crazy production. You don't need expensive equipment. All you need is the 3 balls you supposedly have to be able to jump on your phone, press live, and let people know why they should trust you. Let people know how the pawn shop works. Because what you think they know, they don't know. And that's the truth. You think people know what you know about the store, but they don't. Show them. Donald Rogers, a mastermind member, does incredible things with video on his Facebook page, showing people how he melts down the gold, how he tests the gold, what he takes. And he's consistently producing content to be able to put out there for the masses to watch. Now I'm going to show you something really quickly. Okay? Let me see if I can share my screen. And I'm going to show you why this matters. And I teach this to the mastermind in the masterclass. I want to show you something that is going to blow your mind. Okay? Let me share my screen. Okay, so if you can see this, awesome. So you can see this, right? Now look at this video that Morris made. Okay, this is Cash Go Pawn. I think that my brother is an incredible marketer. I think that we did some incredible stuff when we were there together, and he continues to do it. And he's in the mastermind as well. Look at the first video. Okay, That first video, ladies and gentlemen, has 152,000 views. How to buy jewelry at a pawn shop and save 75% off of retail. Next video, can you sell stuff at a pawn shop? 47,000 views. How does a pawn loan work? 33,000 views. You think that people aren't watching, ladies and gentlemen, they are watching. People are searching, how does a pawn shop work? And you can target the audience in YouTube to get your area, bring them into your store with the call to action. 152,000 people have seen that in the last year, my brother's video. How much traffic do you think that's generated into his pawn shop? YouTube is the #2 search engine in the world. If you're not creating content, you're making a big mistake. Next week, the mastermind has Marley Jacks coming in. Marley Jacks is one of the top YouTube content creators in the world for people like Damon John and Gary Vaynerchuk. And she's going to teach the mastermind how to do just that and to be very, very effective. A course with her is like $10,000. And the mastermind is going to learn from her because I have a connection to this person through some friends. You see, the issue is that this is what would have changed the lieutenant governor from saying what he said. If pawn shops were making this content, if it was coming out there, if they were able to share it, if their constituents, this whole letter sharing thing to me is a joke. If you have 300 pawn shops in your state or in your city and you send letters, who cares? If you have 25,000 customers sending letters, that makes a difference. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to make a difference in the pawn industry, you need to create amazing content. That's it. Create amazing content. Share that content so when something like this happens, you can show the lieutenant governor that 152,000 people watched how pawn shops test gold. You can now, check this out, you can now get the 152,000 people who watched that YouTube video, target market them to a petition to sign saying that what the lieutenant governor said was wrong. It's time to think differently. And that's what the Pawn Leaders Mastermind does. We think differently, we do differently, we produce differently, and we lead differently. Now is the time before other states come in line with what the lieutenant governor said. Now is the time for you to take action and create amazing content. Right? Lead generation. If you're not building your email list, you are making a huge mistake. If the state of Alabama pawnbrokers all built an email list and they simultaneously sent an email to their huge list saying, please forward this to Lieutenant Governor, letting them know that we know what we're doing. What if they had a list of 50,000 people and only 10,000 people shared it? All of a sudden, the Lieutenant Governor receives 10,000 emails in his mailbox saying what you said about pawnbrokers was wrong. We've used pawnbrokers. They're amazing. We got great deals. They test my gold. I'm proud to be a client at my local pawn shop. But instead, you're sticking your head in the sand and just trying to do business. It's a different world. If you have any questions, let me know. I'd love to answer them here. Bob says when it comes to the political process, we all need to be proactive. For something, it might be too late. Yeah. And Bob, the truth is that it's already too late. But can we make that shift? Yes, 100%. And the shift isn't writing letters. I'm sorry. It's not. And the shift is, yes, joining your MPA so the MPA fights for this federally, joining your state association so your state association fights for this statewide. But it's all about mass. And if you have that list of clients that you've served over 10 years, you can shoot an email, a text blast and say, help us out. We've helped you. Now we need your help. And nobody is doing this. Nobody. So wherever you are, start building your email list. Build it strong, build it big, and build it now. Because if you don't, you won't have the power in numbers. You just won't have it. So with that said, if anybody has a question, let me know. Danny says, smart bro, love this. Thanks for watching, brother. Thanks for always supporting. Shout out to the mastermind. Yeah, I mean, it bothers me when I see stuff like this. It really, really does. Proactive pawnbroker is a pawn leader. Because everybody else who's just doing nothing is staying silent, and they're more at fault. If you're staying silent, you're more at fault. So let's move the pawn industry up a notch. Let's create some amazing content. Let's share that content and build that email list. All right? Stop staying silent. We don't have to be ashamed of what we do. We have to be proud of what we do and who we are. Love you all. We'll talk soon.